Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins History. Today's video, we're diving into the story of the 1986 Washington Quarter Dollar, a coin most people overlook, yet it holds secrets that could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. Stay with me until the end, because we're about to uncover how this ordinary coin can command an extraordinary price. And you won't believe just how high it goes. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington Quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was first issued to commemorate the 200th birthday of the first U.S. President, George Washington. But the design became so iconic and popular that it stuck around, and it's still on our coins today. Now, fast forward to the year 1986. A year of big hair, neon clothes, and cassette tapes. While the world was dancing to pop hits and watching Top Gun in theaters, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of quarters with the same trusted design, Washington's proud profile on the obverse, and an eagle standing tall on the reverse. At first glance, the 1986 quarter doesn't look any different from the others. But here's where things get interesting. The Washington Quarter Dollar from 1986 was struck at multiple mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. Each of these mints produced different types of coins: circulation coins, uncirculated mint sets, and special proofs, and this is where coin collectors start to pay attention. You see, most of the 1986 quarters were circulated and used in everyday transactions. That means they got scratched, worn down, or even damaged. So finding a 1986 quarter that is still in pristine condition, shiny, perfectly struck, and untouched by time, is far more rare than you might think. But what truly sets certain 1986 quarters apart are the mistakes. Yes, minting errors. These are the hidden gems that can skyrocket a coin's value. We're talking about double die obverse coins, where parts of the design appear double due to a misalignment in the minting process. Or off-center strikes, where the design is visibly shifted, creating a bizarre but fascinating look. Some 1986 quarters even have clipped planchets, where a part of the coin is missing due to a cutting error at the mint. Now here's the thing, these errors are not obvious unless you know what to look for. But to a trained collector or even a curious hobbyist, spotting one of these mistakes could be like hitting the jackpot. Condition matters too. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Most quarters that have been in circulation for decades would fall somewhere in the 10 to 30 range, heavily worn. But a 1986 Washington quarter in mint state condition, graded MS-65 or higher, can command serious interest, and it doesn't stop there. Some of the San Francisco minted coins from 1986 were specially made as proofs for collectors, using polished dies and planchets to create an ultra-shiny mirror-like finish. A flawless proof quarter with no blemishes, haze, or milk spots. That's collector gold. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's great, but how much could a single 1986 quarter really be worth? Well, here comes the jaw-dropping part. 1. Extremely rare 1986 Washington quarter, graded at the highest level, in absolutely perfect condition and possibly containing a rare mint error, sold for a staggering total of $80,500. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. Worth more than most people's entire car. Worth more than some college degrees. And it once lived in someone's pocket, purse, or junk drawer. So the next time you come across a Washington quarter from 1986, don't just toss it in a jar or use it in a vending machine. Look at it closely. Check the mint mark. Examine the condition. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. Today, we're going to uncover the mystery behind the bicentennial Washington quarter, a coin that looks common, but under the right circumstances, it can sell for an absolutely jaw-dropping amount. Stick with me until the very end, because the value this coin can reach will leave you speechless. Let's start with the basics. The 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter was released to celebrate America's 200th birthday, the bicentennial. To mark this historic moment, the U.S. Mint broke tradition and introduced a special design for 1 year only. Unlike the usual eagle design on the reverse side of the quarter, this commemorative version features something truly unique: a colonial drummer boy, standing proudly with his drum and a torch of victory surrounded by 13 stars. It's bold, it's patriotic, and it's unlike anything else you'll find on U.S. coinage. and here's a fun fact: this coin is the only quarter in U.S. history that features a date range instead of a single year. The 1776 to 1976 dual date symbolizes both the birth of the nation and its 200-year milestone. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule, but here's what most people don't know: millions of these quarters were minted, which might make you think they're not worth much. And yes, if you pull one out of circulation today, it might only be worth 25 cents. But certain versions of the 1776 to 1976 quarter are extraordinary. Let me explain. These quarters were minted at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. And the San Francisco Mint produced two special types, a proof-clad version and a 40% silver version. That's right, some bicentennial quarters were struck in real silver, and it doesn't end there. Coins can contain hidden minting errors, double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets. These flaws turn a normal coin into a rare collectible. And when these errors are found on a silver bicentennial quarter in pristine condition, the value skyrockets. Condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely perfect, no marks, no scratches, nothing but flawless mint brilliance. These are known as MS70 or PR70 coins. The higher the grade, the higher the price. And now, let's talk about the holy grail of bicentennial quarters. Imagine a 1776 to 1976 quarter, struck on a 40% silver planchet, with a rare die error, in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition, certified by a professional grading service. It gleams like a mirror, it's untouched by time, and it's so rare that collectors are willing to fight over it at auction. So how much could one of these coins be worth? Well, hold on to your seat, because one such quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $157,000, yes, a single quarter. The kind most people overlook. Worth more than a luxury car. More than the down payment on a house. And it was hiding in plain sight all along. So the next time you're sorting through your change, flipping through your coin jar, or exploring your grandfather's collection, look for that 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter. Check the mint mark. Look for silver. Examine it closely. You might just discover that a little coin with a drummer boy on it could change your life forever. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1974 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America, a coin that most people think is common, but under the right conditions, is anything but ordinary. So get ready, because this isn't just a story about a coin, it's a journey through American history, minting mysteries, and a shocking value that will leave you stunned. Let's rewind to the year 1974. The United States was coming out of the Vietnam War, and the Watergate scandal was on every headline. Amid all that turmoil, the U.S. Mint continued its job quietly, producing coins that millions of Americans would use every day. One of those was the 1974 Washington quarter. On the front, or obverse, we see the familiar profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His strong and steady gaze represents the very foundation of the nation. Above him, the word Liberty, and just below his neck, the date, 1974. On the back, or reverse, we find the proud heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows, with olive branches underneath. A design that symbolizes both strength and peace, a balance the country was striving for at the time. But here's where it gets interesting: the 1974 Washington quarter was struck primarily using a clad composition, that's a sandwich of copper and nickel. Millions were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So you might be thinking, if they made so many, how could this possibly be rare? Well, here's where coin collecting gets thrilling. Rarity doesn't always mean few were made. Sometimes, it's about unintentional errors, perfect conditions, or one-of-a-kind variations that make a coin go from everyday change to museum-worthy treasure. For example, what if your 1974 quarter was accidentally struck on a silver planchet? Yes, even though silver was phased out of regular circulation coins after 1964, a few planchets slipped through the cracks. If a 40% silver blank meant for another coin was used to strike a 1974 quarter, that's a major error. Or maybe the coin was double struck, had a die clash, or features a missing clad layer. These types of minting mistakes are incredibly rare, and collectors hunt them down like buried treasure. Now let's talk about condition. A coin that's been passed from hand to hand, worn down over years of use, might not be worth much more than face value. But a coin that's never been circulated, kept in pristine, mint state condition, with no scratches, no blemishes, and full original luster, now that's something special. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A 1974 Washington quarter that grades MS-67 or MS-68 is exceptionally rare. The higher the grade, the higher the value, especially when certified by trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. It might sound unbelievable, but a 1974 Washington quarter dollar, struck in error or preserved in flawless condition, has shocked the coin collecting world by selling for a staggering $87,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter, the kind we often overlook, valued at the price of a luxury car. That's the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the excitement of hidden value, and the possibility that something so small could be worth so much. So the next time you come across a 1974 quarter, take a moment. Examine it. Look for that mint mark. Feel the weight. Listen to the ring. Who knows? You might just be holding a treasure worth more than you ever imagined. Today, we're diving into a coin that millions of people have seen, and most never gave it a second glance. But maybe they should have. Because hidden among ordinary change, one coin from 1971 has stunned collectors around the world. That coin is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1971. And by the time we're done, you might just run to your coin jar to see if you've got one hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. And over the decades, its design has become iconic. But not every Washington quarter is created equal, and the 1971 version is a perfect example of how history, errors, and condition can turn an everyday coin into a rare gem. Take a close look at the obverse, or front, of the coin. You'll see the unmistakable profile of George Washington, facing left. His expression is firm, almost stoic, a tribute to the strength and resilience of the first President of the United States. Above him, the word liberty is boldly stamped. And right under his chin, the date 1971. Now flip the coin. On the reverse, we see the classic heraldic eagle, wings wide, perched proudly on a bundle of arrows. Underneath the eagle are olive branches, symbolizing the delicate balance of war and peace. And surrounding it all are the powerful words United States of America and quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like any other quarter. After all, the U.S. Mint produced millions of them in 1971, at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So what makes this coin so special? Here's where things get exciting. There are a few hidden factors that can turn this seemingly common coin into something truly extraordinary. First, errors. In the minting world, errors are like buried treasure. They're rare, accidental, and highly valuable. Some 1971 quarters were mistakenly struck on the wrong metal, including 40% silver planchets that were no longer intended for regular circulation. Others show signs of double die obverse, off-center strikes, or die cracks, all of which are extremely desirable to collectors. Second, condition. A coin that's been sitting in circulation for decades is likely to show signs of wear. But if you find a 1971 Washington quarter that's never been used, a coin in mint state condition, it becomes exponentially more valuable. These coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, and anything MS-67 or above is considered top tier. Now imagine this, a 1971 Washington quarter, struck on an incorrect planchet, with crisp details, no blemishes, and full original luster. Certified by a top grading company and held in a collector's vault for decades, what would a coin like that be worth? Here comes the part that shocks most people. One such coin, a 1971 Washington quarter dollar with rare characteristics and perfect condition, has been valued at an unbelievable $97,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin worth just 25 cents at face value has fetched a price that could buy you a luxury car, pay off student loans, or put a down payment on a house. So the next time you see a quarter lying on a table, sitting in your change tray, or hiding at the bottom of your drawer, take a moment. Look closely. You might be holding a piece of history, and possibly, a small fortune. Today, we're unlocking the story behind one such coin, the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1982. At first glance, it looks like a simple quarter, a common piece of change you might find in your pocket or coin jar. But beneath its familiar surface lies a tale of rarity, mystery, and incredible worth. The Washington quarter, named after America's first president, George Washington, has been a staple in American currency since 1932. Over the decades, it has seen subtle changes, but the design has remained iconic: Washington's dignified profile on the front, and a proud eagle with outstretched wings on the back. The 1982 quarter, minted during a time of economic shifts and changing metal prices, holds a special place in numismatic history. What makes the 1982 quarter so unique? The answer lies in the metal composition. That year, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using a mostly copper core with a copper-nickel cladding to a predominantly copper core with just a thin layer of copper-nickel. This subtle change led to some interesting anomalies. Some 1982 quarters were accidentally struck on the older, copper-nickel clad planchets, while others were struck on the newer copper core planchets. Collectors and experts have learned to identify these differences, because the coins struck on the rare copper-nickel clad planchets from 1982 are exceptionally scarce. In fact, finding one in pristine condition can make all the difference in value. Condition matters a lot in the coin world. Coins with sharp details, full luster, and no scratches or wear are highly sought after by collectors, but there's more. In addition to metal variety, some 1982 quarters show minting errors such as off-center strikes or doubled dies. These mistakes occurred during the manufacturing process and create unique coins that collectors chase passionately. Each error coin is like a one-of-a-kind piece of history, telling a story of the human element behind the machines that produce our everyday currency. Over the years, as interest in coin collecting has grown, the demand for rare 1982 Washington quarters has soared. Whether it's the metal composition or an intriguing minting error, these quarters have captivated collectors worldwide. Now, here's the moment every coin enthusiast waits for: the value. A 1982 Washington quarter dollar in exceptional condition, particularly one struck on the rare copper-nickel clad planchet or bearing a significant mint error, can fetch an astounding price. That price? An eye-opening $74,000. That's right. A coin that many consider just spare change could be worth tens of thousands of dollars if you're lucky enough to own the right version in mint condition. So next time you stumble upon a quarter from 1982, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to a hidden fortune. That if you love uncovering these incredible coin stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because in the world of coins, there's always another amazing discovery waiting just around the corner. Happy hunting!